Hi everyone, my name is Precious Molepo, and as you can see by the title, today I'll be talking about my experience of failing CTA. So let's start right at the beginning. So this year I'm going to be doing my second attempt, round 2 of CTA, but last year was my very first, and it was a roller coaster. So I studied CTA through, and I still am studying it through, the University of Johannesburg. And last year, so I had to bridge into CTA. So I have a BCom accounting degree, and then because it's not accredited, the electricity just went off. But let me just open a curtain. Because it's not accredited, I had to bridge into CTA with a bridging course, which is what I did. It's basically to fill the gap, because in Psycha's opinion, which actually I agree with, in everyone's opinion, the BCom accounting is just not at the required level that you need to be at to do CTA. So I actually recorded this video with my cell phone. As soon as I switched to camera, I don't know why, I just get so nervous. Like, I don't know, it just makes it feel too professional. But anyway, so going into CTA, I was already super exhausted because BCTA, I really gave it my all. I pushed, like, it was through the grace of God that I actually passed it. I found it super challenging, a huge jump from BCom accounting. Anyway, so now I am in BCTA, get into CTA, and by that time, come January, I'm completely exhausted. So the lectures, to start off with, were super long. So in BCTA, I was used to I think it was an hour and a half lectures in the evening, so I had the whole day to myself. So now we're in CTA, and the whole thing switched to morning lectures from 8 o'clock, 2-hour lecture, then you get like a little break, and then another 2-hour lecture. So a lot of that was like overwhelming, and just to get into the habit and in the pattern of waking up super early and getting into the groove in general. Secondly, I felt like the lecturers, the way they spoke super fast. I'm used to lecturers kind of spoon feeding me and emphasizing the things they want me to know and to remember, and the things that are most commonly tested, which I don't feel like that was the case when I got to CTA level. Like, the lecturers were just like, while they're lecturing material, they'll just, you're with me, if you're not with me, I'm moving. Like, there was rarely anybody that stopped the lecture. If they did, they'll be like, listen, time, speak to me after. So already I could feel like, this is honors level. Like, it's already hot. Anyway, so that I found super overwhelming. And also, it's so discouraging, and I made sure to not make that mistake this year, to get into something that everybody says is super hard, and to the point where some people say, like, you're gonna fail. And I feel like that is so discouraging, and I don't understand why people would want to get that thinking into someone's head. Like, don't. If that person is used, just stop it, because you just feel so discouraged before you even begin. So we had like an orientation day, and we had like guest speakers that came in and told us about how they got like 30% in their first CTA paper, but then they like turned it around and really pushed, and then they ended up passing. And then I remember there was this chick sitting next to us in our first lecture, and I was like taking notes excessively. And my reasoning for taking notes excessively is, I don't know, I feel like it gives me peace of mind knowing that I was super attentive from the beginning to the end of the lecture, and taking notes keeps me focused. Also, it gives me assurance that I was super focused. I know what we learned in class. That's encouraging, compared to, like, let's say you zoned out or you're on your phone a bit, then when you get home, you kind of start thinking like, oh damn, did I miss something? And already you don't feel as encouraged to study, because you have that mind block of, oh, I probably missed something important. Anyway, that's my reasoning for taking excessive notes. So yeah, I was taking excessive notes. That's the way I used to do things in BCTA, the bridging course, taking excessive notes. And then this girl's like, what are you doing? Why are you writing so many notes? This year's gonna show you fire, whether you write or not. Like, you're gonna fail. Just watch, you're gonna. Like, excuse me, I understand, okay, you came from, like, you failed. But why would you want to instill that negative energy and that negative thinking in somebody else? So that was super discouraging, to the point where I was kind of embarrassed, stupidly, to be taking excessive notes and to, you know, make notes and kind of turn a lecture into active learning, because everybody around is just like, and I know personally that's how I learned. So I don't know, I just felt out of place. So anyway, this was just before COVID hit. So we wrote our first CE, then COVID hit, and then everything went to online learning. And for me personally, vacation mode. I was on a vacation leading up to April assessments. It was just like a holiday for me. Not literally, but like my state of mind, I was just like, take it easy. And which was a huge mistake, but I will make a video on the mistakes I feel like I made in my first attempt of CTA. So yeah, so then came my April assessments, and I mean, I'm still mad at myself for ruining such an opportunity, because normally with the April assessments it is done like physical exams, but like with COVID it was done as an assignment, which is like a huge opportunity. You're home, you get the whole week to do that. Like you could have used past papers as references, all of that, and I did none of that. And I think I got like a 30% and a 20 something percent for auditing and accounting, and then 2 other subjects I passed. And then obviously by then, I don't know, I should have been kicked to life, but I still wasn't. I was like knocked down for like a few minutes or whatever, like oh my gosh. But still, I still didn't have that oh damn, okay, now we're in CTA like now. And bear in mind, the CE didn't do that to me either. The second paper didn't do that to me either, which I was just exhausted. I was just like, oh my gosh, I am exhausted. So in my head and in my thinking at that time, I'm thinking, no, you know what, I'm just trying to find other ways to motivate me, like YouTube videos, and trying to get myself in the state of mind as I was in the previous year, which didn't come. It didn't really come. So yeah, so when those results came, those should have really been the kick in. A lot of the lecturers were also saying, like, you have time, don't stress, you still have time to redeem yourself, which is a lie. It's an absolute lie, but we'll get into that when I make my video on mistakes I made that I feel made me fail CTA. Yeah, so I was still taking it easy. I was like, you know what, there's June. I made such a comeback last year, I can make a comeback again. Then come June, my marks were still not looking nice. Come September, come October, and then I didn't pass. I got a supp. So I wrote my supp, and around this time I was under the impression that to do well and to feel motivated, you needed to be under stress, which is a big mistake, which I'm definitely going to include in the video, more details of it. But at a higher level, I basically felt like I needed to be like under crippling stress in order to push excessive hours in order to pass the subject, the module, whatever. So I tried to like trigger that in myself by, you know, looking at the deadline, and just like when I do the studying, I kind of like get myself in a stressful, you know, when you just, I don't know how to explain it, but like when you're doing the studying or the notes or whatever, you can do it in a relaxed manner, or you can like do it in a freaked out, stressful state, like just, you know, your peace of mind. So that's what I was trying to do, to trigger stress, to trigger motivation, which didn't happen. I actually ended up like, you know, stressing myself out to the point where I couldn't control it, and like my eye was twitching. And then now I put myself in the state, and I was trying to put myself out of it because I was so stressed out that I couldn't be productive. So I was jogging, I was drinking a lot of water, and still my eye kept twitching, like it wouldn't stop. And to the point where I even got medication for it, and even the medication didn't help, to be completely honest, which I don't even understand how. Normally rescue would work, but I got myself so stressed out that like rescue wouldn't work. I had to get something stronger, and it was a mess. Also, like during the year, I was fixated on counting hours and how many hours had I covered, to the point where like I would be like researching instead of studying and like understanding principles. I was like searching how many hours do you need to pass this course, like how many hours a day do you need to cover. And I would like cover, like, let's say if they say 8, 10, 11, whatever the case, I would cover that, and then just so I can have the comfort of saying, oh yeah, no, I covered like 10, 11 hours, I'm fine. Like, which is, how does that even work? I mean, it's so subjective. It can, maybe the person who wrote 8 hours has some sort of background already, you know what I mean? Like, it's so subjective. How can a, like, you cannot, like, it really goes down to personal opinion and like how you are as a person. And I remember asking a top achiever even, like, hey girl, how many, just guidance, how many hours do you spend on a topic? And she even said, she was like, no, don't count hours, see how long the topic takes you and see how long you get to understand it. And I remember thinking, let's go, so meaning what, 7, 6? And she told me, and I should have listened anyway. So definitely that was one of the top mistakes I made. So anyway, come December, October, I write my exam. November, my name is not on the pass list, but I qualify for a sup. And like the whole of December, I'm studying for the sup, which there's a part of me that was just like, God, but why couldn't you just make me fail straight? Like by December, I fail so that I can rest in December. By October I fail so I can rest in December, because I feel like the whole of December, January, I was here, and now round 2, no break, you know what I mean? I think I got like a week break in between. So, but I mean, taking the positive from it, it also helped me really to start on day 1 of CTA round 2, instead of like trying to now kickstart my motivation and etc. So that I'm grateful for. But that was my experience. And I mean, during writing my finals, in my head I was just like, yo, no, I can't fail, yo. I feel like failing was just like this huge this huge event in my head. Like, if it happened, like my world is going to crumble. And then it happened, and honestly, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Like, it wasn't as bad as I had painted it in my head. And a close friend of mine was like, okay, well, you know what, now that the worst has happened, like, you can only go up. But I'm definitely not going to be complacent. That's one thing, because I know people who have failed twice, so I really don't want that to happen. So I mean, from day 1 I have been pushing. But failing, okay, yes, it happens, but it's honestly not the worst. Look, I'm alive. My world is still, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. And CTA is not all there is, you know. So I feel like failing also taught me that, because in my head I was like, yo, no, if I had to fail, I would crumble. Especially in like a society that we're in, where we really are almost obsessed with doing well just so that we can go on Twitter and post, yo, at the age of 25, I have 2 degrees. At the age of what, I own a house. At the age of, yo, retweet. Like, your mental health comes first, and life is a journey. There's no rush. There's really no rush. And there's this thinking of life you'll start living when you get to that destination, which is so incorrect, because life is now. Like, you're living, like, this is it, you know what I mean? So that mentality is just toxic. It's so toxic. And I mean, yeah, big ups to those ones that, you know, hey, by 23 I own a house, I'm self-made, hey, I have 20 cars. It's okay, it's fine, congratulations. But really, don't take that pressure on yourself. As I feel like it's important that you're surrounded by the people that you love, by great support, by family, by friends, so that the journey is so much sweeter. Because this journey, this every day that's happening, that you're like, yeah, no, I just want to rush it so I can qualify to be a chartered accountant. That thing that you're rushing is life, and that's what's the blessing. So I feel like it's very important to not get fixated on getting to the destination, and just enjoy the journey, take it in, take breaks, you're not going to be studying forever, so just enjoy it, you know what I mean, and don't be fixated on having an achievement to post on social media. So that was my experience with failing CTA. As you can see, I'm alive, so hopefully this has been encouraging for somebody that is going through or has gone through the same thing. Or I mean, even if this is your first attempt and you're watching this and you have that thinking of, oh my gosh, if I fail, oh my gosh, if I fail. I mean, if you don't, great, but I don't think you should be giving that so much energy and attention, like, yo, yeah, I need to do it for 7, I need to do it for 16, because yeah, if I don't, I'm gonna fail, you know. Like, just do your if for 16. Don't give failure your energy. Like, don't. Just focus on your day-to-day tasks. But I'll definitely do a video on the mistakes I feel that I made that contributed to me repeating the year. I hope this helped. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I am definitely going to be uploading much more content. I actually started recording CTA journey videos last year, but I don't know, there was just so much uncertainty. Like, am I going to pass? Like, imagine me like now posting CTA journey videos, Khanti, come the end I'm going to repeat. Like, then what will my followers say? But it's fine, you know what, I'm just, another thing that I regretted was the fact that I didn't make friends with repeaters, which could have been such an advantage, because they know what they did wrong and they know how they answered wrong, and they've been through this, you know what I mean. So having made friends with repeaters, it would have like given some sort of guidance, and I would have learned something that would have given me some sort of advantage. So I mean, let me be your repeater friend, eh? Keep me close, subscribe to my channel.